Every morning when I open the shades on my east windows, I say out loud, I open my arms to the good in this day. Blessed be the good. No matter how heavy the world is weighing on me, this practice centers me in gratitude and frees me, at least for a moment, from the worries and fears that crowd my mind. When weather permits, I go for gratitude walks. Some people keep a gratitude journal. They every morning when they wake up or every evening when they go to bed, they write down 5 things they're grateful for in that day. It's a way to begin or end the day by noticing and naming the good. On my gratitude walks, I name what I'm grateful for in the moment. Thanks for those shoes that support my feet, my legs that can walk, the clean air that fills my lungs, the organs in my body doing all the things they're supposed to do, my strong bones and muscles, the absence of aches and pains, if true, and the feeling of sun on my skin. Thanks for the sidewalks, the silence or bird song, the blue skies or clouds, the misty rain, the trees with leaves, the flowers blooming. Thanks for my neighbors and neighborhood. Thanks for meaningful work and a steady paycheck. Thank you for that, First Church. Thanks for the food I ate for breakfast. When my mind wanders, complaining about big things and small, I call it back to gratitude. Psychologists say that one cannot be grateful and depressed at the same time, or grateful and isolated at the same time. It's like our hearts can't multitask. So bring it back to gratitude. If we practice gratitude on a regular basis, we begin to experience this truth. Noticing and naming the good fills us up and increases our resilience. The practice of gratitude helps us feel connected, even at those times when we might feel so alone. Gratitude can free us. But what does freedom really mean? Historian Timothy Snyder wrote in his 2024 book on freedom, "We are told that we are born free." Untrue. We are born squalling, attached to an umbilical cord. Whether we become free depends on the actions of others, upon the structures that enable those actions, upon the values that enliven those structures, and only then upon a flicker of spontaneity and the courage of our own choices. While Snyder wrote this book, he traveled to Ukraine 3 times during the war, and he taught a class inside an American maximum security prison. He learned that freedom is not just an absence of evil, but a presence of good. On one of his trips to Ukraine, he met an older woman named Maria. He wrote, "As I ducked under the doorframe of her orderly little hut and then stepped back into the sunshine and rubble, Maria asked, smiling, 'What do you think?' Outside her temporary metal dwelling provided by an international organization, woolen sweaters were drying on a line. A pretty wooden drawer lined with felt rested on a bench, like an open Pandora's box. When I complimented her on it, Maria offered the drawer to me as a gift. It was a lonely relic of her house just in front of us, a ruin after bombs and shells. Like every house in the village, Maria's was destroyed during the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Taking a seat on the bench and listening to Maria, I think about freedom," he wrote. "The village, one would say, has been liberated. Are its people free? To be sure, something terrible has been removed from Mari's life, the occupation. But is that liberation? Maria is 85 years old and living alone. Now that she has her neat little residence, she is certainly freer than when she was homeless. But that is because family and volunteers came to help, and because a government has acted, one to which she feels connected by her vote. The Ukrainian word de-occupation, which she and I are using in conversation, he continued, invites us to consider what, beyond the removal of oppression, we might need for liberty. It takes work, after all, to get one older woman into a position where she can greet guests and perform the normal interactions of a dignified person. I have trouble imagining Maria being truly free without a proper house, with a chair, and with a clear path to the road for her walker. Snyder concludes, if we want to be free, we have to affirm, not just deny. Sometimes we have to destroy, but more often, we need to create. In the July 1942 issue of the Christian Register, a Unitarian publication, there was a special section on religion, democracy, and the war. Under News of Churches, a column from Cambridge, Mass. Reported, 3 years ago, the Flower Communion service was introduced to First Parish Church by Mrs. Norbert F. Chopek, who was then living in Cambridge. Rooted in the culture and background of Prague, arranged by Dr. Chopek, minister of the Czechoslovakian Unitarian Church, this service is now genuinely a part of the Cambridge Church and is a lasting tribute to his instinct and his feeling for the universal. The column goes on. Everyone who attends brings a flower of their own selection, significant in terms of their deepest personal experience. These flowers are placed in a basket waiting in the vestibule at the beginning of the service. At an appropriate time, the basket is brought forward to the communion table as a symbol of the united devotion of the people. At the close of the service, each person takes a flower other than the one that they brought. Some bring flowers in memory of their beloved loved ones who have gone before, or of experiences cherished as the most sacred of their lives. This year, remember 1942, this year, some brought flowers for men now far away in the armed services. Some members brought flowers for Dr. Chopek, now no longer ministering to his people in Prague. But somewhere in Nazi hands. A symbol of that countless multitude of patient prisoners of undying hope and faith. Friends, in our time, we are writing our own special section called Religion, Democracy, and Tyranny in America. We are writing it with our daily lives, fighting for communal freedom as best we can. American Trappist monk and social activist Thomas Merton wrote, "There is something in the very nature of my freedom that inclines me to love, to do good, to dedicate myself to others. I have an instinct that tells me that I am less free when I am living for myself alone. The reason for this is that I cannot be completely independent. Since I am not self-sufficient, I depend on someone else for my fulfillment. My freedom is not fully free when left to itself. It becomes so when it is brought into right relation with the freedom of another. I am so fortunate that I was freely brought into relationship with you here at First Church. Sorry, Kleenex, here we go. Pull it together, girl. We know the relationship between minister and congregation does not thrive if each considers themselves self-sufficient. It's only in the building of trust, in the taking of risks, in the depending on another that the good we do grows and blossoms. There is so much about this community that I will love and miss when I retire at the end of June. You know, from the moment I met you the first Sunday of Candidate Week, when Drew, in his cute little smile, said to me, "What do you think?" You know, right? Like he'd nurtured this congregation since 1986. It was 2009. He's like, And I said, "I think I found my people." It's true. And still true today. So the big things and the little I'll miss about this community, well, I'll miss how Andy turns off the pulpit mic and the light before the choir sings, and how he remembers to turn it back on later. I'll miss seeing our own Bernie Sanders lookalike sitting in the back row of the church every Sunday. I'll miss the children showing me their stuffed animals as they come down the hallway, and the moments they stop bringing their favorite toy to church because they've suddenly grown taller than me. I know, not hard to do. I'll miss the way that we drink deep from the well of music, words, and silence in this beautiful sanctuary. I'll miss the shared memory of those beloved members who are no longer with us in body, but live on in spirit. More Kleenex. I'll miss the way that you inspire me, and the honor of being some small part of the good that we all put into the world. Ministers and congregations shape each other. Even when we think that we arrive in community fully formed and self-sufficient, we're really not. We form and shape each other. You have changed me for the better. I hope and trust I've done the same for you. There is a saying in the biz that ministers only preach 2 sermons during the course of their career. We just say the same thing in different ways. So I recently asked Deacon Dale, what are the 5 things I always say in my sermons? Because I'm quite sure there are 5. So we came up with this list. It won't take long. Number 1, there's mystery in the universe. Every now and then, we can just let the mystery be. Number 2, there's wisdom in our bodies, even if we can't find the words. Listen to your body wisdom. Number 3, I should tell this to myself right now, it's okay to have feelings. The feelings are going to be there anyway, so we might as well feel them. Number 4, everyone is going to die eventually. So live as if your life is precious, because it is. And number 5, community matters. Community saves lives. So be community for one another. Today we sang, "We shall be known by the company we keep." by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. I am deeply grateful to have known you and be known by you, to have circled round with you to tend these fires. I have deep faith that you will continue to plant and reap the seeds of change, that you will continue to thrive while you lead in love. May we be filled with gratitude and joy, and may it free us. May it be so.